King Cyrus's fatherhood. At noon, Robert high, like only he could. The fables are bizarre but good. It's Myth Thunderstood.
Moo chocolate, moo, moo, moo.
Moo chocolate. Hey, thanks for joining us for another episode of Myth Understood with me, Paul Bianchi, and her, Sarah Oliver.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just recently returned from Scotland, and while I was in Scotland, I went to the Fringe Festival.
Well, you are a braggart.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I did tell you about this, but I don't know if I told you about how it went, but I got asked by a group called Spontaneity while I was there to perform myth-based improv.
What a surprise that's what it would be.
Yeah, but it was such a weird little niche thing that came up, and
you have not told me how it went, and I have asked you twice.
Have you really?
Yes.
Oh.
But you were really jet lagged the other night.
Oh yeah. Well, it went. I think it went all right. I think the audience enjoyed it, so that's how you know it went well. But for me, as someone who, like many people, went with
someone with taste, not like those sheep in the crowd.
That's not what I was going to say. I was going to say, as someone who has not performed regularly for 2 years because of a global pandemic, I felt very
rust.
Yeah. That's the rust noise? Yeah. We did a very cute scene where I felt in my body language that I was being Aphrodite, but I was labeled Hephaestus.
Oh no.
And so he said, "Hephaestus, you're acting very coy today." And I had sort of a feminine posture to me, and I said, "Well, that's because you're fucking my wife." And that went over very well. So,
so you decided I will be Hephaestus.
Well, because I got labeled as Hephaestus, so I had to go with it.
Oh, yeah. Good. Okay.
So that went well, and it was that game where the audience writes on pieces of paper, random things, and so, those actually ended up being really, like accurate for the scene.
Oh, beautiful!
Because
so you just reach in your pocket and say something that's written on a piece of paper.
Mm-hmm, it was all like describing Ares' penis, basically. Like, this is what I was overhearing from the next room. So it worked out.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was a gorgeous time. For anyone who hasn't been to Edinburgh Fringe, it is a very miraculous thing. Like, the entire city, the population seems to triple. There are 3,000 shows going on at once, and it's just
at one time slot.
And it feels just kind of insane to, like, when Sarah and I live in Los Angeles, where there is theater, but there's not really theater. Whereas in Edinburgh during Fringe, it's like the entire town cares about theater.
And I'm having such a hard time filling 10 fucking seats for Sunday.
Yeah. So that was really nice. And also, if you listened to the last episode and heard me talk about the musical I'm trying to put up,
Gladiatrix.
Yeah, I had a really nice conversation with some of the people that worked at Fringe, and so I'm just sort of crossing my fingers that will go in a positive direction.
So yeah, if you live in the UK, we might be coming for you next summer.
Coming for you with spear in hand.
That's fucking awesome, and I can't wait to go. And it looks like one of the most magical times. And meanwhile, I am getting ready. I've been in rehearsal all week for a show where I play some evil politicians. It's a live show. It tours around the country, so I'll throw it up sometimes on my Instagram, and you guys can see me in random places.
Yeah, Sarah does a mean Mitch McConnell.
Well,
or a regular Mitch McConnell.
And I get to play Kristen Cinema now.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. I get to play woman, and also woman.
Oh yeah.
And also
the
Richard
evilest
Nixon.
Politicians.
Richard Nixon.
Oh yeah.
Which I never auditioned an impression for, but for some reason they looked at me and said, "That looks like Dick."
Can I put you on the spot and hear an impression of it right now?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've been trying I've been trying to save my voice, but I'll do oh, hello, Joe. You before your bungling wrecks our country. That's and
just for those listening, Sarah had to raise both of her arms to do that
I
impression.
did.
Yeah.
And also, because I'm in a scene with Bernie Sanders, and he's different, but it's also very like hurried, kind of panicking, who's speaking all of the time.
You're both just sweating profusely.
On Sunday, I'm sure I will be. But I really wanted to distinguish my Richard Nixon impression, and the thing that I went to before I went to listening to Richard Nixon talk was it's a trap in Star Wars, because that always makes me think of Nixon for some reason. To the point where the other person in the show playing the same part as me, if we have multiple bookings, she started doing under her breath to it's a trap. It's a trap. So that's your shortcut to Richard Nixon.
That's good. Am I supposed to transition from Richard Nixon to the myth now?
Actually, give me your Richard Nixon.
Oh, my Richard. Oh, gosh.
Just give me. I am not a crook.
I am not a crook. That's it.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. I leaned into the I am. What do you know actually was a good transition is when you said woman, 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 and I was like, oh, those are also evil politicians. Today, I have a myth for you that features women who every woman in the story seems to have no redeeming qualities to her.
Women be shopping.
Yeah. It's they're bad. So this
guy right there.
Probably, yeah. This is a story about two brothers named Anpu and Bata. And Bata, yeah.
I love that.
And it's a long, winding batchet story, and they're both very, very dramatic in it.
All right, everybody, get your glasses full of cocaine.
Yeah.
Let's go.
This story apparently was originally collected in 1907.
Collected.
Yeah, it means a white person found it and put their name on it. Yeah. I enjoyed reading the story, and the bluntness of some of the things that happen in it made me cackle. So,
all right, let's see if I cackle.
All right. So, once upon a time, there were two brothers, Anpu, the significantly elder brother.
Okay.
And
much older. Okay.
The younger was called Bata. Anpu had a house of his own, and he had a wife, and she didn't have a name in the story, so let's give her a name.
Cheryl.
Anpu, Bata, and Cheryl all lived in this house together, and they treated him, because of the age discrepancy, like he was their son, and he worked very hard for them. He loved both of them. He made them garments. He drove the oxen in the field and harvested the grain. Also,
so the younger brother's doing this for the older brother?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
So no such thing as free rent.
No. And also, it's important to note that Bata was born imbued with the spirit of a god.
What does that mean?
It doesn't explain, but as the story progresses, I think we'll figure out what that means, kind of. It's going to be that.
Little bit of god droplets on him?
Just a little bit of godness.
Okay.
So each morning, Bata went forth with the oxen, and when evening came on, he drove them again to the byre, which is a new word that I learned, byre. It's a word for a cow shed, like a cow house.
Oh,
yeah.
No, I didn't know that word either.
Apparently, it's like when I looked it up, it said
it's where all the cool cows hang out.
Yeah, it said British English when I looked it up, so I was like, okay.
All the hot is heifers.
He also carried upon his back a heavy burden of fodder, which he gave to the animals to eat, and he brought with them also milk and herbs for Anpu and his wife, Cheryl. And while these two ate and drank together in the house, Bata rested in the byre with the cattle and slept beside them.
He lived in the barn?
Oh,
or he just napped there?
He had a special relationship with the cows.
Oh.
Because he began to understand their language. He knew cow speak.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Cowsel tongue. And as he would drive them to the pastures, he would often overhear them say, "Yonder is sweet herbage." And he would say, "Oh, okay." So he would drive them to their place of choice, and they were pleased to be taken to where there was good.
So Bata is batshit?
But no, he understands the cows for real because he's got the spirit of a god in
the
him.
spirit of the cow god.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So after the annual flooding of the Nile, and we know that's when Egyptian farmland is its most fertile.
Hell yeah.
Anpu and Bata sprang into high gear to till the soil together. This time Anpu's helping him because it's like, this is harvest season. I am helping.
So he's like 40. Or isn't he retired?
He's
back in these days.
He's nearly retired, but he actually really enjoyed doing this because he loved his younger brother so much. And it was a great time. And they were two happy brothers working together in a field, singing their working song.
That's cute.
Let's work
together as brothers, touching each other's cows.
Yeah, that's the song that they sang and looked into their eyes and figured it out in the moment, just like that. Yeah, they did this for several days, and they reached the stage of seeding the soil or planting. And Anpu says to Bara, "Hey, little bro, that's like my son. Hasten to the granary and procure some more seed for me."
Yes, brother, father.
Perfect. And Bata ran to the house. There he beheld Cheryl sitting upon a mat, languidly pleating her hair. And as the story has had no conflict so far, guess who will provide it?
This bitch braiding her hair.
Languidly, as they described it. And Bata says to her, what voice did you? Hey, yeah.
Hi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I know you're super busy braiding your hair, but can you bring me some more seed so I can plant the field?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Basically, that's what she says. She says, go to the storeroom yourself. Take whatever you want. If I get up now, my hair will fall in disorder. And that will be your fault.
And then the rest of the day is fucked up, man.
And Bada's like, thanks. And so he goes to the storeroom. He takes a large basket and he poured into it a great quantity of seed. And then he carried the basket back through the house. Let's say Bada's like 18. And Cheryl looks up at Bada as he passes. His shirt is off.
Oh, yeah.
His muscles are glistening with sweat. And she says to him, what is the weight of that great burden of thine? And he says, there's, he's got his little voice still. There are 2 measures of barley and 3 of wheat. I can carry all upon my shoulders 5 measures of seed. And she goes, great.
I can carry your seed.
Yep. Great indeed is thy strength. And of thee do I contemplate and admire each day. And then she stood and let her hair fall into disorder.
No.
And let her clothes drop from her body like Catherine Zeta-Jones in The Mask of Zorro. And she says, tarry with me here. Tarry away.
What the fuck does tarry mean?
Like, hang out with me here. But it's like implied.
But she did get naked?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And Bada says, Mama, no.
Sister-in-law, mother-in-law, no.
I regard thee as mother, and my brother as a father to me. Thou hast spoken evil words, and I desire not to hear them again. Nor will I repeat them to any man what thou hast just spoken. Like, let's just forget about this. Put your clothes on. I'm going to leave. Bye-bye. Yeah.
Okay. And she respects that choice.
She respects that choice, and that's the end of the story.
Yeah.
No. He departs abruptly with his burden and hastens back to the field where he resumes his labor. He does not speak of it to Anpu because he's like...
Sounds like a mistake.
That will just make him upset.
Mm-hmm.
In the evening, Anpu returns back to the house, but he finds the house in darkness. His wife did not bring him water to wash his hands, which made him mad. No, apparently it was her custom. And so he was surprised that she didn't do that. He was also surprised that she didn't light any candles. And instead he finds her naked on the ground, moaning in pain. And he's
Oh my God.
and he's like, "Oh my gosh, who hath been here?" And she says, "Bata was here. He spoke evil words to me, and I said, 'Hey, I'm your mother. I'm like your mother.' And then he was angry and he struck me until he promised that I would not inform thee. Oh, if thou wilt allow him to live now, I shall surely die. Kill him. Kill your brother."
Oh my God. This is some Gone Girl shit. This
Mhm.
is not good.
Um, and then they describe that Anpu at this moment became angry like a panther.
Yeah, they're always pretty pissed off. They're always mumbling under their breath. This
He
fucking guy uses turn signal.
he they're driving.
Well, the jungle. Jungle's a highway. That's what they always say.
I think you're thinking of a jaguar.
Okay, yep.
Ampu then sharpened his dagger, and he went out and stood behind the door of the byre to slay Bata when he came near.
Oh, so not even gonna get any information.
Nope.
Just like a ravenous Johnny Depp fan online. Okay.
Meanwhile, the sun had gone down in the field where Bata drove the oxen, and he started driving them into the byre. And when the first ox entered the byre, it saw Ampu waiting. And so Cow spoke back to Bata.
Is it an ox or a cow?
A male cow.
Okay. A bull.
And he says, "Beware, for thine elder brother is standing behind the door. In his hand is a dagger, and he desires to slay thee. Draw not nigh unto him." Of course, Anpu just hears moo.
Yeah.
Moo, 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 moo.
Fart.
Here's a Richard Nixon impression. And then the second ox enters and goes to its stall and is just like, "Seriously, move, bitch." Like, move, take speedy flight. And Bata didn't just take the cow's words for it. He peers below the byre door and sees the legs of his brother and sees like the tip of the dagger. And he drops all of his things immediately and runs. And Ampu rushes after him furiously, like giving him chase. And in his anguish, Bata cried out to Ra, "Oh, blessed Ra, thou art he who distinguished between falsehood and truth." And Ra, like it's night, he's already started his like descent into the duat. Like but Ra like looks over his shoulder like at the horizon and is like, "Oh,
I owe you.
shit, I was in the middle of baking meringues." And he causes a wide stream to flow between the two brothers, and behold, it was full of crocodiles. And that's all like Ra has time to do.
Yeah, just
that
throw
night.
some crocodiles over my shoulder. That'll work.
Yeah. And so now
Is that why there's so many crocodiles in Florida?
Just
throw,
yeah.
That'll fix it.
That's what Ra
Family
keeps doing there. He's like, "I don't have time for this." And so in this moment, Ampu and Bata are confronting each other, one on the right bank and one on the left, with this giant river between them. And Bata cries out to Anpu, "It's too dark. Let's talk about this when the sun is up. I shall reveal in Ra's presence all that I know, and he shall judge between us, discerning what is false and what is true. Get some sleep, put down that dagger. I'll sleep over here." And Ampu agrees. He drops his dagger to the earth and walks back to his house. When the day is dawn, the sun god Ra returns in all of his glory, and the two brothers return to gazing at each other across the stream of the crocodiles. That's sort of like, I feel like that part of the storytelling is like fade to black. We return from commercial break.
Yeah. And you see the sun in the horizon.
Yeah.
Very, very kind of cowboy scene we've set up here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They are wearing cowboy hats and nothing else.
I knew it.
But the question is, where are they wearing the cowboy hats? So then Bata asks him, "Hey, bro, why did you try to kill me without giving me a fucking moment to explain myself?"
Because I had to wash my own hands last night.
He says, "You want to know what happened? I went to the house to get some seed, and then your wife, who's been like a mother to me, suddenly decided she wanted some of my seed."
Mm-hmm.
And then, for very dramatic effect, he said, "Great was thy wickedness in desiring to murder me by treachery, and he punctuates a sentence by cutting off a piece of his flesh,
What?
not describing where it happens. I told you these boys are dramatic. And then he flings it into the stream, where it was devoured by, guess,
A crocodile.
not a crocodile, a fish. Isn't that stupid?
Yeah. What the fuck? What kind of fish?
They don't say. They just say a fish. I was like,
Koi
what?
pond.
The crocodiles do nothing in the story. They're just there.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They're just decorations. They're not scary at all.
they're like made out of cement. Anpu was so stricken with anguish that tears ran from his eyes, crocodile tears, and he desired greatly to be beside his brother on the opposite side of the bank.
Cut off your eyebrow, man.
But Bata says, you fucked up, bro. But if you want to make it right, here's what you got to do. You got to go home and say goodbye to me. And because I have to go now.
Wait,
and this,
what? Who's got to go? You've got to go home and say goodbye to me?
yeah, well, Bata's saying to Anpu, like, say goodbye to me and go home.
Oh, in that order.
Yeah, sorry. Go home first, then say goodbye to me from there. No, that's a fair thing to say, because what he's saying right now all sounds batshit.
Yeah.
He says, I have to go now and live in the fair region of the flowering acacia.
Who told you that? Who said you had to do that?
The God spirit inside of him. But one day, you'll have to come for me in my time of great need. See, in this acacia land, my soul is going to be placed in a flower at the top of the acacia tree.
What?
And when that tree is
What?
cut down, I'm not done. When that tree is cut down, my soul will fall upon the ground. Then you, my brother, must come find me.
Mm-mm.
Put my soul in a vessel of water and feed it to my corpse.
Okay, I was with you when you were like, I didn't do this and I need to talk to my wife. And now I think you're insane.
But when you do this for me, I'll come back to life again.
Huh?
And you'll know. Don't worry. I'm fine. You'll know when I'm in peril and you need to come do this for me by these two signs. 1, your beer will bubble.
Okay, I need to take you to a hospital. You're bleeding and you're insane.
and 2, your wine will have a foul smell.
You're crying. Did you cry laugh when you put this together today?
A little bit, because it's so silly.
He doesn't say where he got this idea from.
No.
Before he was just mowing the yard and now he has these premonitions.
Well, he cut off a chunk of his flesh and fed it to a fish. So like now he Anyway, he says, "Okay, I love you, bye." And Bata takes his departure.
And his brother just stands there with his mouth open for 7 days and nights. Doesn't fucking eat or sleep. What just happened to me? What did I just see?
So, yeah. So then Bata takes his departure and he goes to the Valley of the Flowering Acacia, just like he said. The acacia tree is beautiful, by the way. I had to look up what it looked like. It's like a very it's like Sahara sort of tree looking, and it has like wispy pink flowers on it.
Guess you'll have to put that on the Instagram.
Yep. And that was all the way across the ocean.
So he couldn't go back across the river.
No.
Across an ocean.
Nope. He had to do exactly what he said. His brother then.
Or the cows told me so.
Well, so this is something else that made me laugh because it was this quick. I kept these sentences exactly the same as how I read them. His elder brother returned home. Period. He lamented, throwing dust upon his head. Period. He then slew his wife, cast her body to the dogs, and abandoned himself to mourning for his younger brother. Period.
Whoa!
So Cheryl gets a sentence.
So what? Second. So before this guy has anger problems, before he talks to his brother, he's ready. He's standing to surprise shank him. And then his brother goes off the rails. And even though we, the listener, know Cheryl's in the wrong,
yeah,
he doesn't know that. He's got no information from either party.
No,
he just goes home, throws sand in his eyes, and starts stabbing.
Yeah. Well, puts it on his head.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, many days went past. And Bata, I know you care about this, finally reached the length of the valley of the flowering acacia. He dwelt there alone and hunted wild beasts. In the evening, he laid down to rest below the acacia, in whose highest blossom his soul was now concealed.
Wait, his body's living.
hmm
The soulless husk of a man,
Yeah, he put his soul in the flower of this tree.
but
It-
he's alive.
He's alive.
Okay.
Here's what I'm inferring by this storytelling is that I think it's like, in order to make myself invincible, I'm going to put my soul somewhere else so that I am kind of like a living zombie person who can't
This
be
is
killed.
every man on a dating app.
Yeah, exactly.
I will be, in order to exist on here, I will detach my soul from my body.
Well, it's funny you should say like a dating app, because don't you think that Bata now needs a love interest?
And she deserves a husk of a man.
Exactly. Because it chanced on a day when he went forth that he met the 9 gods that were just like out for a stroll. Like they were literally like surveying the land. And
Like
they were
all the
just-
gods we know?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like Tefnut and Shu and like, yeah, they were just
Oh, wow.
chilling out. And they're like, "What are you doing here?" And he told them his story, and they all
And they all just stood with their mouth wide open.
no, they all got it because they're gods. And
Yeah.
Ra was kind of there, he knows.
Yeah.
And so they took pity on him. And Ra said, fashion now a bride for Bata so that he may not be alone.
Just make him one.
Just make him one.
Okay.
And so the god Knumu fashioned him a beautiful wife imbued with divinity. And she was sort of like, this is a little bit Pandora-like, because she's like created for him and she's beautiful, but she's trouble because the 7 Hathors the 7 Hathors were immediately a buzzkill. They said upon gazing upon her, she will surely die a speedy death.
Wait, why? Why did they decide that?
That's what they decided when they looked at her. But regardless of this, Bata loved her dearly, and he heard that warning. So he kept her in his house that he built.
He lusted her dearly. He doesn't have a soul.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And she remained in his house while he hunted wild beasts, and he carried them home and laid them at her feet. And
Wow.
he warned, sort of like a cat bringing you
Yeah.
it's killing. And he would warn to her each day, saying, "Walk now." Oh, she needs a name though. The women don't have names in the story.
Ginny.
Jenny or Ginny?
What the fuck difference did you just say?
Jenny with a Jenny or Ginny?
Okay, Ginny.
Ginny. Okay. So he'd warn Ginny each day, saying, "Walk not outside, lest the sea may come up and carry thee away. Bye."
You are so controlling.
And he told her, but he did, like, despite not having a soul, he like divulged in her everything. Like he told her everything about his life, everything that had happened up to that point.
Yeah, soulless men can do that.
And
They love the monologue of their own life.
and he included the part about his soul residing in a flower at the top of the tree outside.
Mhm.
Then on a morning when Bata had gone hunting, Ginny went out of the house because she was bored.
What's the point of being this fucking hot if no one can see it? I'm not just gonna sit inside all day.
And just as she was saying that, from a distance, the sea spirit beheld her in all of her beauty and caused all of his billows to pursue her. Hastily, she fled away,
Sea spirit.
the sea spirit, and returned to the house. And the sea spirit was like, "Oh, shoot, can't get her in the house."
She's on base.
But he sang to the acacia, "Oh, would she were mine."
Is that really what he's saying?
Yeah, those are the exact lyrics of his 5-line song.
Oh man.
And the acacia was like, "That's a great song." And
That's a bop.
and the acacia
Remix.
cast to the sea spirit a lock of the wife's hair.
Cloner.
And the sea bore it away towards the land of Egypt and to a place where the washers of the pharaoh cleansed his royal garments. And that day, when he received his garments from the washers, he was so delighted by the smell of his garments that he went down to visit the seaside washers to be like, "What have you fragranced my linens with? They smell better,
Human hair.
better than it ever was before." This made me laugh too because he goes, then there in the sea, he finds this floating lock of hair and smells its sweet fragrance coming from it and decides to go over to it and pick it up, and it's got to be nasty. It's just nasty clump of hair, and he's like,
This guy is played by Joe Biden.
and he goes,
Sniffing hair.
"Lo, this is a lock from the hair of the divine daughter of Ra, and it is gifted unto thee from a distant land. Command now that messengers be sent abroad to seek for her. Let many men go with the one who is sent to the valley of the flowering acacia, so they can bring this woman unto me."
Wait, this dry cleaner said that?
No, the king said it.
He's the king.
Yeah, when
Okay.
he picks up the hair, and he's like, "Wow."
And he said that to who?
He said that to all of his minions.
Okay.
And so messengers were sent abroad unto all lands, but those who journeyed to the valley of the flowering acacia never returned because Bata was there and he killed them all.
So what we have some pretty advanced forensics back in
Well, it's
ancient Egypt time.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess like her hair must, like, I'm filling in the blanks here. Like, I feel like maybe her hair smelled like this flowering acacia, and everyone's like, "Oh, I know where that is."
Okay.
Yeah, because otherwise, what does it smell like? Just Ginny. Just Ginny.
Just Jenny.
So after all of the men that he sent died, he decided instead to send another a woman to go get her, and this woman also doesn't have a name.
And she's also a shitbag?
Kind of, I guess. No, she's just part of the problem.
Clarissa.
Clarissa. So he sends Clarissa, and Clarissa's like, "I know exactly what I'm gonna do because do you know
'Cause
what
she knows it all.
do you know what do you know what fellow women like such as I like? We like diamonds and jewels. So I'm gonna come. I'm gonna go to that valley in my finest gown and
Just jingling
jewels.
jewels.
Yeah.
Yeah, but come like a little cat to a treat.
Uh-huh. And she reaches the valley in the morning when Bada's out hunting and arrives at the house and just like dances and dazzles Ginny with all of the fine clothing and jewels. And Ginny's like, "Yeah, I want some of that." And so she leaves with her.
She was an influencer.
She was the first influencer.
Mhm.
And so she takes her back to Egypt. And,
She's also the only other person she's ever met.
oh yeah,
So she's like, yeah, I might not be in a great situation here.
yeah, I have a soulless husband.
I'm being isolated.
Mhm. So there's great rejoicing in the land of Egypt when she arrived because she's immediately given to the pharaoh, and the pharaoh was in love immediately, or in lust rather, with this divine woman, and he exalted her because of her beauty. And he very quickly got her to reveal all the secrets of Bata. And upon learning about his secret soul flower, he's like, "All right, I'm going to go send men back to that valley and chop down that tree and splinter it to pieces because I don't want Bata coming after me because I just stole his wife."
Well, why would it matter? He clearly exists outside of his soul.
Well,
Sorry.
because that's the only way to kill him is to kill the soul that's in the tree.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So workmen and warriors were sent abroad, and they reached the acacia. They chopped it down.
Oh,
They severed it from
No.
severed the highest blossom away, and Bata just like dropped dead where he stood.
oh gosh.
So let's cut back to Anpu, the elder brother. Goes to his house
head
one day.
is so dusty.
Goes to his house, back to his house one day. Sat down, washed his own damn hands.
Oh.
Pours himself a beer. It bubbles.
Oh.
Pours himself a glass of wine.
It's stanky.
It has a foul smell. Yeah, it's go time. So he grabbed his staff. You can just imagine this cutscene.
Yeah.
Yeah. He puts on his shoes and his garment. He arms himself for his journey, and he departs unto the valley of the flowering acacia.
Is he riding a cow? Because that would be some good full circle.
Yeah, he's riding a cow.
It's not, but he is now.
It's not in there, but it should be.
We're
Making
improving it.
improvements.
We're
Yeah.
improving it.
When he reached the house of Bata, because it's the only house in the valley, so of course he found it. He found his brother's corpse on a mat, and he wept, and then composed himself and went out to search for the soul of his brother, scouring the entire valley for a single tiny withered flower. And so for years he continued the
This
search.
is not a quick thing.
No, for 3 years. Yeah, that's the thing, is that the Hathor said that
wow.
this woman would have a speedy death. Hasn't happened yet. This is 3 years later.
No, she's thriving.
Yeah.
She's a pharaoh's wife right now?
Mhm.
She's aight.
Yeah. Finally, in the 4th year, as his brother's corpse was likely just bones at this point, if he left it where it was.
But he's probably like talking to it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
Certainly sane. He happened upon a curious seed.
Excuse me?
A curious seed.
How does that be?
Look at how curious this seed is.
What?
And he picked it up and he took it back to the house and he dropped the seed into a vessel filled with cold water and found, as science would say, that the soul was drawn out into the liquid. And then Anpu took the vessel, raised it to the lips, he still has lips somehow, of Bata, and poured it into his gaping mouth. And at that moment, Bata's soul was returned to his body.
So he didn't find a flower.
No, he found a seed.
Okay.
Yeah, he lied.
Idiot.
And the brothers embraced, and he broke his brother into pieces because he was crumbling
Yeah.
corpse.
He's decaying.
And you'll never guess the first words out of Bata's mouth.
Where's my bitch?
No, it was,
Told ya.
now I must become a mighty bull
Okay.
with every sacred mark upon it. None will know my secret. You're then going to ride upon my back.
Oh, we do get a full circle moment.
And when the day breaks, I shall be at the place where my wife is. Unto her I must speak. Lead me before the king, and you'll find favor in his eyes. The people will wonder when they behold me and shout, "Welcome!" But don't listen to them. Go home.
Why is he so fucking psychic all of a sudden? Something happened when Raw threw those crocodiles. Like something hit him in the head and some new psychic
I'm telling you,
gene.
it's when he cut off his flesh and threw it to the fish.
Is that what it actually
It was
is?
the magic fish. I don't know.
Jesus. Because, yeah, he didn't see his sister-in-law coming on to him. That's a big surprise.
Yeah, that was a big surprise. Yeah. He should have known.
But also, why are you going back to this woman who completely sold you out and was like, hey, you know how you could kill the guy I've been living with? This really bizarre, specific thing?
Yeah.
Let it go, man.
Anyway, sure enough, the next morning, Bata was a bull, and Anpu sat upon his back, and they returned to Egypt to the royal dwelling. There, the pharaoh was indeed really into the appearance of a sacred bull. He was like, "Huzzah! This is indeed a miracle." And there was much rejoicing throughout the land.
Dude, sculpt me with the bull. Sculpt me with the bull.
There was much rejoicing throughout the land, and silver and gold were given to Anpu. And everyone was like, "Stay, Anpu, stay." And he was like, "Nope, I'm happy that you gave me silver and gold. I'm going to go home and wait there for further instruction." They're like, "From who?" And he's like, And he just left. In time, they placed the sacred bull in a holy place. And
What do you
when
mean in time?
in a few days, I don't know, later.
This is the long con? Okay.
Yeah. Well, because he wanted this to happen. Because when Ginny then visited the bull, she was like, "Oh, aren't you a cute bull?" And she's surprised when she hears it speak back in Bata's voice.
Yeah, I would imagine.
And he says, oh yeah, what's his voice again? Look thou upon me where I stand, for lo, I am still alive. And she's still like, and who art thou?
What?
And the bull says, "Verily, I am Bata. It was thou who didst cause the acacia to be cut down. It was thou who didst reveal unto Pharaoh that my soul had dwelling in the highest blossom, so that it may be destroyed, and I might cease to be. And lo, I live on, and I've become a sacred bull.
Oh, so this is his like revenge body.
Yeah. And, and she's like, oh my God. So she fearfully ran from the holy place and composed herself.
So he's not coming back to be like, I want you back.
No,
He's just like,
he's haunting her.
cool.
And that night at the feast, she spoke to the king. And I feel like this is where it gets very Game of Thrones. She says, promise me before the gods that thou wilt do what I ask of thee. And her husband, the Pharaoh, says, yeah, whatever you wish, I will do.
I mean, you're hot.
Yeah. And she says, it is my desire to eat the liver of the sacred bull.
Oh, good Lord. Okay, so they are not getting back together.
No. So a new day dawned, and the land grew bright, and then the king commanded that the bull should be offered in sacrifice. One of the chief servants went out, and the bull was held high upon the shoulders of people, and they cut its throat in front of the holy place. And it cast 2 splatters of blood on either side of this archway, and immediately 2 Persea or bay trees grew where the 2 splatters of blood hit the ground.
Okay.
And so then the great miracle was told to the king, and the people. I keep using Pharaoh and king interchangeably because that's how this myth was translated. So apologies. So then people rejoiced and made.
And he's not dead.
No, the bull is dead now.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Yeah. But the people rejoiced and made offerings of water and fruit to the sacred trees because 2 trees sprouted up
It's pretty
immediately.
cool.
Yeah. So there was at this holy place, big celebration. Ginny goes to visit the trees. And when she reaches the trees, she hears from the trees, thou false woman, I am still alive. Lo, I am Bata, whom thou didst wrong. It was thou who didst cause the acacia to be cut down. It was thou who didst cause the sacred bull to be slain so that I might cease to be. And again, the Ginny's like, this is so tiresome. And she goes back to the feast, talks to the Pharaoh again, and she's like, listen, I hate those trees. It's my desire that the Persea trees be cut down. Make 2 seats out of them. Like that'd be great. And
not wasteful.
Yeah.
Upcycle it.
And as she desired, it was done. And the Pharaoh commanded that the tree should be cut down by skilled workmen. And Ginny went to go watch it happen. And as she stood there, as they were chopping away at the trees, a small chip of wood flew into the air,
What?
landed into her gaping mouth, and she swallowed it. After many days, Sarah,
In his colon.
a son was born to her.
Oh my God.
Yeah, sudden pregnancy.
Oh.
And the baby was brought before the king. And one said, unto thee a son is given. And the nurse and the servants were appointed to watch over the baby. And it was great rejoicing through the land. And the king made merry, and he loved the child, and appointed him the prince of Ethiopia. He was like, this is how babies are born. 7 days later.
Super normal.
Yeah. Many days went past.
Well, she did get that wood.
Huh? Yeah, there you go. Many days went past, and then the king chose him to be the heir of the kingdom. And
days?
Well, yeah, after as a baby he chose.
Oh, is it okay? He's not super growing as well.
No. But after after the Pharaoh fulfilled his years and died, so years and years later.
What the fuck?
The new king was this child. And of course that new king is Bata. He was reborn from his wife as this baby.
Okay.
And
incestuous again.
So he said, summon, I guess. I mean, she's not related to him. She was just supposed to be his wife.
Well, yeah, but now this is his mother.
Right. Yeah.
And in the years to come, she's racing him as the mother.
Yeah. It's sort of like reverse incest though, because they were not related and then somehow became related.
Mm-hmm.
It's very weird. All right. So,
It happens.
it does happen. So then the new king, as soon as he's become the new king, he says to his people, "Summon me before the great men of my court, so that I may now." Oh, it's Bada's voice. "So I may now reveal unto them all hath that has befallen me, and the truth concerning the queen."
And he looks different.
He looks different.
Okay. Okay.
And then Ginny is brought before him, and he says, well, actually, it says he revealed himself unto her, so he got naked. Now he revealed to her, "Hey,
Does he rip off a skin mask and then it's his regular face underneath?
because he can transform into an ox, so he should be able to transform back into his regular form. Maybe he does here." And he says, he reveals to her, "Guess what? I'm Bata. I made you give birth to me very quickly." And she was judged there. A trial was held for her, and I'm sure it was very fair. And they all confirmed her sentence and murdered her.
Oh, she gets murdered.
Uh-huh.
In what way?
Does not say.
Oh, okay. In what way then?
I was thinking that it might be the same as Cheryl, that she just gets like killed and thrown to dogs, because like that would bring this, like that's
Yeah.
what we do to women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or killed and thrown to bulls.
Thrown to bulls. You really like the bull thing.
Well, no, because she murdered the bull. Like a bull.
Or they bury her alive underneath a tree that they're planting in the ground.
Oh, that's nice. Or cast into the ocean.
Yeah.
The sea fairy tried to.
Yeah, he's like, you wanted her, here she is.
Here she is.
Yeah. Then he summoned his brother finally.
No forgiveness, even though she raised you as her own child for probably like 18 years, right?
Oh yeah. He's soulless though. He was probably just like, "Mama, love you, mama." And then he was like, "Just kidding." Yeah.
What is he holding on to? He didn't give her that great of a life. He
No.
kept her trapped inside.
Well, we're almost done.
Okay.
So Anpu, his older brother,
Still alive?
still alive, was summoned before his majesty, and he was chosen to be the royal heir. And
Wait. Well, how does that work?
I don't know.
Gonna make an old man the heir of a young man?
Yeah, don't get it. Because Bata reigned for 30 years, and when came to his death on that day of his burial, his older brother took his place.
That doesn't.
Now 80 years old.
Yeah, he's
No.
minimum 70.
Yeah.
No. Because it's all of whatever this kid's life was. So he started off, we said like 40.
Mhm.
Let's go down to 35. He's 35.
Yeah.
And a 15-year age difference, and then some years went in between that the brothers even saw each other, like 5, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's 40. Then this guy gets reincarnated into his ex-wife, becomes a pharaoh
Mhm.
that at 18, we're saying, right? 18. Even let's say 16. So
Yeah.
he's 56 now. Then 30 years, he's 86
Uh-huh.
at the youngest he could possibly be when he takes over for his younger brother.
Uh-huh.
I love it. Ageism isn't a thing
Yeah, no.
in this story.
He reigned for one day.
What a week it was in Egypt.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a truly bizarre and meandering and horrific tale you've shared. Thank you.
Yeah, it's you're very welcome. Yeah, it took, like, you understand why I cackled then, right? Because it just
yes,
it
I
took
was
me
there.
by
Yes.
It took me by such surprise as I was
Yeah.
reading it.
No. None of it is how I would tell a story
No.
or anyone I know.
Yeah, because they start off with like, so like Callum and I have watched a lot of American Horror Story,
Mhm.
and the way the seasons go is that it'll be like, for the first 10 episodes, it's telling a story, and then the last 2 episodes, it'll say like, and also this happened, and you'll be like, wait, why are there suddenly aliens? Like it'll just like do that, and
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that's this story, and a lot of the Egyptian mythology that I found is that it's like, it's almost,
Egyptian horror story.
it might be like people were telling stories to each other, and it's like, ooh, I think I'm losing them. I need to like, oh, and then this happened, or like they're like gauging like, I think that they really care about this Bata character, and like let's add more, and ooh, gotta add sex. Sexy wife appears.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And some of it feels like a 5-year-old chirped up and was like, "And what if that he cut off his nose?" You're
Yeah.
like, "What?" And the fish ate it.
Well, I think that there is a little bit to that with this before universally understood written language storytelling, that it's like that it does kind of become like, well, this is the story as I know it before it gets written down, and it's like, wow, you know that version, this like weird telephone version, and they're like, yeah, well,
Yeah.
I'm the one who's writing it down. So,
Honestly, now that I think about it, it
yeah.
sounds a lot like a story a 5-year-old would tell because, as you know, I've babysat on and off for many, many years, and my main little dude, when he was 5, went in this insane tangent talking about obviously nothing but lies because he was being he was but he was creating a fake story and getting very excited about it. But he was telling me, yeah, this one time a bear came into my house and my dad fought it. And we stabbed it with a branch and then we cut off all of its skin.
Oh.
I said, wow, what did he do? We threw it in the trash.
That's him covering at the end. He's like, don't ask about it because we threw it in the trash.
We threw it in the trash.
Yeah.
Cut off all of the skin and threw it in the trash. Like, why did we need that detail? It's so gory. So yeah, this is a beautiful Egyptian story as told by a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun. And yeah, women, they can't be trusted.
They can't be trusted. No. You'll think that they're your mom, and then suddenly they'll hit on you.
Yeah, they lie,
Hmm.
and they love jewelry. And then they try to kill you.
Tink-a-link-a-tink, tink, tink-a-link-a-tink, tink, tink-a-link-a-tink, tink, tink-a-link-a-tink, tink, tink.
Do you not know what to get that special someone in your life for her birthday, bar mitzvah, or other occasion?
Well, look no further, because this woman has it all. This is Clarissa.
I'm coming to a town where you are. I'm specifically coming for the lady in your life, and I'm gonna make a racket with these sales, deals, diamonds so loud that your little lady won't be able to help but come out and get these diamonds and jewels.
Wow, she looks so glamorous, doesn't she?
Check it out. Come on out your house. Come to my little pop-up store. You know you wanna.
Tink-a-link-a-tink, tink, tink-a-link-a-tink, tink, tink. That's like the sound of, I feel, oh, never mind.
And now you're a queen. Yes, queen, literally.
Clarissa's jewelry that's loud. So yeah, I did improv. Then.
You did it so good.
Thanks. I hope that we learned something in this moment.
I hope I forget this story immediately on the drive home.
But yeah, yes. Thanks for listening to this episode. If you enjoy all of those shenanigans, I laughed so hard during this episode, so I hope that it was understandable.
He laughed, cried.
I laughed, cried. So yeah, be sure to continue to follow us on social media. You can find us as always at _myth_understood. You can find our radio network at It's Dragon Wagon. You can find Sarah at the Sarah Oliver. You can find me at the Paul Bianchi. And yeah, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. And what are you doing?
Huh?
You look like you're about to say something.
Oh, I actually looked at our Apple Podcast reviews last night.
Oh yeah, what'd you find?
Yeah. I always get anxiety about it because I feel like someone's gonna scream at me because that's happened before. and be real mean.
All caps.
Yeah, but there were some really nice reviews, and it just made me really happy. So thank you guys. It made me so excited to come in and keep doing this.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I should do the same.
What? Review us?
No, I should read the reviews so that I also feel imbued with joy.
You will be.
Imbued with the spirit of a god. Perhaps I will be.
Paul, stop cutting your face.
Tomorrow, I will be an ox, and you will be there looking at me, and we will ascend to the mountain, but then you will go home, but you'll have to wait for me because I'm going to be at the store, and if something happens to me at the store, like if I step on a piece of glass, you'll know that I've stepped on the piece of glass because you'll smell burnt toast, and it's not you having a stroke.
Oh my God, he does this every day. Okay, guys.
Night-night.
Love you. Night-night.
Scott and Arver here, along with
Jake Lloyd Bacon.
We're both actors and comedians, but far more importantly, we're both professional wrestling fans.
Pro wrestling is a blast. It is over the top. It is ridiculous. It is comedic, dramatic, and everything in between.
And so is our show. We talk about old wrestling.
We talk about new wrestling.
We talk about wrestling in the future.
We talk about wrestling in our fantasies.
So tune in at pwpowskis.com or wherever you're listening to this podcast right now.
Dragon Wagon.